Yo, what is going on, everybody? Hope we are well. I am so excited for this replay. So we have Zen and Flakes on the same team. They're against the Tekus and Menzu. I'm super excited for this because, you know, Zen really is the flavor of the week. You know, he's been winning his show matches. He's been doing well. You know, he has been on my radar for a while as one of the top players because his mechanics are that good. And you're talking about the guy who came up with the idea of the no mechanics series, you know, Flakes. And Flakes has mechanics, by the way, but Flakes, one of the minds of the game, has a very counter, fake style. Zen has a bit more of a reckless power style. We're going to watch this replay. I'm so excited right now, as you guys can probably tell. So Zen, yeah, great boost grab. And just, again, just the raw mechanics there. You know, little things that he can do. Little wave dashes into quick recoveries. I almost pulled that replay back then just to explain what was going on, but I remember we're watching the whole thing through in one nice go. And then we're going to look at it after. So there we go into the flip reset. And this is just classic, you know. Get in. If you cannot get an angle and you want to get straight to net, you have to do something with the height. And there he is, Flakes. And we can move around. Sure, we don't have to stick in one person. A great pass from Flakes. And bada bing, bada boom. The master of disaster. The king of sting. The man of the hour. Too sweet to be sour. What you see is what you get. And what you don't is better. You get the power slide into the flick. Assist there for Flakes. Well, that is really interesting to me that Flakes dove in as the last man. Remember the rule from the last video if you don't. One of the main rules in Rocket League, don't dive in as last man in twos specifically. So I'm interested to see why Flakes did that. Does he feel he's got to play with a little bit more, you know, speed because of Zen? You know, maybe he's trying to give more loose balls to Zen. If you challenge, there is a chance that you could get a loose ball, and Zen's probably going to pick it up first, as you can see again with his quick mechanics. And again, another dive from Flakes there. Almost uncharacteristic play here, and that is another goal. This is very interesting to see, and not something I was expecting when I came into this replay. So obviously, I was actually expecting it to be the other way around. I thought Zen would be more reckless and Flakes would be a little bit more technical, but it's not been true so far. Zen going quite wide on this rotation here. Flakes getting the outlet pass. Now, normally what you would see in that situation is Zen would have turned and waited in the mid, but he couldn't because he didn't have any boost, so it would have just been a giveaway possession. By taking the back boost and taking his time, he can then set up a play. And Flakes here, try not to overcommit. Yeah, interesting. Very uncharacteristic plays. This is a great pass there from Flakes. Up to Zen. Is he going to do it again? Maybe not. And Flakes here just trying to tap it down to Zen. Zen with the finish off Flakes pass. I can't wait to go over these here. You know, I'm not doing a very good job of the camera work here, guys, so I do apologise. Is it still 1, 2, 3, 4? No, it's different. You see, when you're live doing it, it's much easier to select the player you want. But when you're doing it like this, you have to actually rotate through the players, unfortunately. Flakes a great drop down save there. One of the things to look for is, at the higher level, most people prefer to get something on the backboard, even if it's just like a little bit of the way up, so you can always drop down. And it's much easier to drop down. Great bump there from Menzu or Tekus. I didn't really see who that was as I was explaining something, but Zen straight to the ball, gets the boost as well, and he's going to play it back and take his time. He's actually going to rotate out the play. And this is the thing with Zen. A lot of people go, he's so mechanical. He is mechanical, don't get me wrong. But he's actually a very good player. He's a very solid player because like that, people go, that's all in, but he hasn't really put himself in a dangerous spot, or his team I should say in a dangerous spot, because his second man doesn't have to go because of the way he's put that ball up. The opponents still have to respect what could happen. So stuff like that is to note here with Zen, and he's not really doing anything too crazy unfundamentally. In fact, it's actually the other way around. It's Flakes doing more of the unfundamental stuff, and again, while I'm a bit confused, but here we go off the backboard. Zen, brilliant stuff there. Realised he was going to get challenged, quickly slowed his momentum down. So he's more likely to win the 50-50 with a front-loaded ball. That's why generally you want to carry the ball front-loading. What that means is just on the windshield or, you know, the bonnet, like that. You know, you're just a little bit more safer. If you get challenged, it's easier to drop it for one. And if you just slam your brakes on, it's not going to go straight over you, as opposed to a mid-carry ball, where you have it on sort of the mid to the back of the car, which you'd use for air dribbles. And look at the speed of just unreal. For me, the most impressive thing about that whole play was his first touch. Just got the perfect first touch to go straight in the air. Really is fantastic to see. And there we go. Outlet from Flakes. Free at the moment. 1:46 on the clock. And he's going to try and hit Flakes up again. Not going to be able to do it, though, this time. Both players are up, though. This could be the counter. Flakes again. I gotta say, you know, Flakes' pass in this game has been fantastic. Again, Zen into the middle. Now, a lot of people, you always say, don't dive in the middle, just try and take it back. When you got a guy like this, he can pinch center the ball, and when you got him backing off, you might as well take the opportunity. You might as well take the opportunity, and that he does onto the backboard. Zen coming off straight away. This is just fantastic. I mean, he is, oh man, look at this. What reads though, you know, what reads from Zen there. And again, front-loaded ball on the carry, so he can at least drop it. He wants to get going straight away, of course he does, but he's never scared to let that ball go. And in my opinion, this is really one of the guys to watch, because he's got it all, really. He's got the mechanics at an obscene level, but with the fundamentals to match, it's a scary thing. Here we go. Probably going to see some sort of aerial play again into a flip reset. No, he's going to go for a double touch instead. Just doesn't get it. Again, gets the boost still, though. That's going to be massive. Now, will he dive here or will he shadow? And something I've noticed from Zen's play is he likes to really give a lot of space. And I don't know if he's just very confident in defense, but I feel for him, he values having 100% boost more than anything else. Here you're going to see it again. Straight off, wants that 100 boost. And again, he's willing to sag all the way off and make the opponents really try and earn their offense. And again, just because he can do so much on offense, I suppose it's kind of like you're looking at, I mean, and don't get me wrong, Zen is doing a great job in defense, but it's almost like a Steve Nash kind of player. Yeah, he might get some turnovers, but you're willing to let it go because of what the offense can get, you know? Again, good boost grabs there from Zen. I mean, we are watching Zen through the majority of this. Flakes trying to close shadow. It is 3-3 in overtime. Close game here. Let's have a little quick look at the points before we carry on. 7 shots there for Zen. And I do like the car. So many interesting decals now. Over to Flakes. Flakes shadowing. Let's have a look at Flakes here, who is in the Dominus. Now, I know Flakes famously doesn't care what car he's in, but the Dominus is a flatter car, and it will affect things like a bounce dribble and a power slide cut and stuff like that, because your hitbox isn't as high, so your timing has to be slightly different. I mean, there is an effect. You know, we can't ignore that, but generally what he says is what he means by that is his playstyle's the same. As you can see there, he's still able to, because he's got such good timing, he's still able to pull it off. And he's still going to make those same decisions. And that's why we always sort of say, you know, generally you want your decision making good, because if you got your decision making good, even if you're having a bad mechanical day, you're still going to be in the right place. You're still going to be able to do something for the team. But if you're a pure mechanics player, and obviously just be a hybrid, but if you're a pure mechanics player and you have an off day, you're probably pretty much, you know, no good to the team. Drive challenge attempt there for Flakes. If they try and take it grounded, he's going to be able to get a demo. And again, good 50 there from Zen. Flakes just playing the second man right now, trying to shadow the shadow and really eliminate any gaps. A good challenge there. This could be an opportunity here for Zen and Flakes. They both go onto the ball. Both of them looking a little bit out of sorts there. And oh, that could be a massive miss. Oh, not like that. Oh, brutal. That is brutal. They both had the same 4. And I mean, we should really start. And it was actually a loss this game. We should really start with this. I mean, this is brutal. Oh. So, I mean, Flakes gets this boost here. In my opinion, after he does he get that boost? What the hell? Why is it a blue boost? Guys, what I haven't put on the camera is that basically Flakes misses the boost here. And what I was going to say is if Flakes gets that boost, he should let Zen take the other one, because then they both have boost. But Flakes misses it, and I actually, even watching it live, you know, on that replay just, and even in the replay here, I really thought he got that. And he realizes that he doesn't. He tries to play for the boost. In my opinion here, what I would sort of say is technically it's his mistake. He's the one missing the boost. So he should therefore let Zen go for the boost, in my opinion, because he should defend that after missing the boost. I can understand why they've both done it. And it's a fantastic shot by Menzu. It's just one of those things, you watch this and you go, oh no. You just can't believe what you've seen. If that boost had been grabbed by Flakes, you can guarantee he's going to let Zen take it. But that's what I'm saying. If he misses that, it's on him. In my opinion, Flakes should then turn up to the backboard here, whatever it is, wall here, and just put a bit of pressure on. Because it's obvious that ball's going to bounce there, just to put some pressure on. Maybe block it. You can still do that with 6 boosts. I mean, it's just one of those things. It's unfortunate timing, but let's get back to the the meat and potatoes of this. So we're not going to go over every nook and cranny of this replay because we'll be here all day. So we're going to focus on the goals. Guys, if I do a full replay analysis, we're talking an hour. Maybe for something this length, we're talking 2 hours. I ramble, guys. I can't help it. You know, people said that they enjoyed the last one, so thank you everyone for the feedback because it was quite snappy. So let's get to the first goal. What you're seeing from Zen. So after the kickoff, what Zen likes to do, and you're going to see this a lot when you watch Zen, he does like to go all the way back. He actually reminds me of a player that used to play on stream, on my streams, called Noah Poa, where Noah would love to back all the way off because he really trusted his defense. He had the best defensive rating in Rocket League Battle Card. He really trusted his defense, but not only that, he had insane aerial offense. So he would just pair it up like that. And Zen reminds me very much of that. And it's a great little shot there from Zen. And that is the key point, the boost grab. It is absolutely key. So here, Menzu, he knows what Zen's going to do. Zen's going to go, oh, geez, that was lucky. He's going to go for some sort of play, so he defends the backboard well there, in my opinion. The only way that could have gone any better is if he maybe went on to the backboard earlier and tried to prevent the offense, but I think that was really good. And there we go. This is Flakes 101, isn't it? Comes in, tap to the outside, takes control of the ball. I mean, brilliant stuff. This is why Flakes is such a good player, because Flakes isn't reliant on anyone else but himself. He is not going to keep forcing the ball at you over and over and hope something magical happens. He's going to play around you. Big difference. Soft, well, good little power slide. And look how soft he is with this, because then he can get more power and more emphasis on the flick. And Zen here sees what's going on when Flakes cuts to the side, and he stays in it. He knows he doesn't back all the way off, even though he loves backing all the way off. He says, I've got 100 boosts, Flakes on the ball. Why would I back off here? Why not take advantage and bada bing, bada boom? Well, what could the opponents done here? It's tough. It is tough because of the dive. So it starts a chain reaction, doesn't it? They get the save here, get stuck, and that's just playing your hand. You don't need to jump here, because if Flake goes, if you just stay grounded, and you really want to think of it like, again, I don't want to keep banging on about it, but the NBA. You don't see players jumping up and down frantically. You stay grounded so you have mobility. You need mobility on defense. So come here, sure. Maybe if Flakes goes up, then the second, and then the first man who faked goes round so that he's able to get the second defending. And the first man, the last man now, actually goes up, make him go low to also waste time so that this man can come and take it. That is one option. But when you jump from so far out, you look at this from Flake's perspective. Look at this jump. He is now stuck in the air. He can't change his mind. He can't do anything. He's stuck. This is diving in. Remember we say don't dive in. A lot of people get misconstrued and they think that means a flip. Diving in is diving in. If you flip or not, this is a dive in. Which means that when you're out of play, if you don't get a land, it's difficult. It's a brilliant recovery, but it's difficult to recover and it doesn't really get you anything. And now that player could have done a fake and come all the way back here, and now we would have had an easy chance at stopping the play. Okay, it's a chain reaction. A lot of people do go on the first, but again, against a player like Flakes, and this is another thing I believe, and again, this is where I feel like a lot of players are missing out. At this rank, players should be, in my opinion, studying tape. You know, you want to be like Batman. I think it was Batman. He had a book of how to beat all the other superheroes. You should be like that. You should know everyone's playstyle inside out. You should know how to beat them. You should know their catalysts, what they're weak at, which side they don't like to go to. Flakes often prefers to cut to the right-hand side. So if you ever watch Flakes, even if you go watch a tutorial, he generally cuts to the right-hand side. So we already know he prefers cutting that side. So we prefer to cut him inside, even though we don't want to give up the inside because that would be weaker. These are all these things that you want to be taken into account. Players aren't thinking that deep yet. And I believe that in 2-3 years' time, we're going to have deeper coaching. We're going to have deeper analysis. We're going to have true stat breakdowns if people want to get to that level. Because I don't see that certain things are going to be able to carry you anymore. And then what happens off this is that we're just diving. We're just diving. And once you start a dive, it's a chain reaction, dive after dive after dive. You do not want to dive at a player like this on the wing. There's nothing to gain here because it's hard for him to score this. He's got to do something like this could be again a fake onto the backboard. Come here. Thank you very much. Play like that instead of people go, yeah, but if you do that, they're going to do something else. That's fine. That's fine. Then there'll be a solution to that problem. So let's say you do that fake and Flake sees it and he's flicking. He gets closer and closer. You know, then you just defend that. But when you do all these all-in plays, it does usually start a chain reaction. So that's what I got to say on that. Hopefully I'm not rambling on, but try not to dive so much in defense. It usually isn't good. Case in point, you don't want to dive on defense when you can help it. So right here, now personally, as I always say, you know, I believe that players should cheat up on kickoff in twos. So you'd want to be here. Oh, look at that free ball. You know, you could jab it. It gives you an opportunity, doesn't it, to stay in the play. Even if you didn't feel too comfortable, you could at least fake and shadow. And now you're shadowing here. Similar to like what we saw in Monkey Moon. He would now be shadowing from here. Even if he doesn't go for it, he's now close to the play, which means backflip. You know what I mean? So when we go for these boost grabs, oh, you missed the boost. That's unfortunate. When you go for the boost grabs, you've given up too much space, and these guys are too good. And again, diving in, never diving as last man, and we don't like diving on defense. That's because that's just too easy. It really is too easy to just drop that ball. And to believe it or not, what this player should have done is to Q's. When he comes down and he's right there, he didn't need to flip. Single jump there, and if he was really crazy, he could maybe wave dash, get around the ball, or then delay the side flip, and that would have actually been a goal. So just again, you can always pick something. Right, so we've just seen there a bit of a heavy dive into the corner. This could be dangerous, okay? Because what have we created? I mean, it isn't. It should be. But we've just forced... Oh, God, that's a really good recovery. We haven't forced a 2v1, actually. He gets back in time. Brilliant recovery there. Damn, that was really quick. And actually, Zen had no boost there. So he's forced his offense. This is already dangerous. We've forced our offense. And we're in 0 in the net. This is the only problem with these kind of plays. Zen does. I mean, he's very good at recovering off them. But if you don't land them, it's going to be tricky. Look at this from Flake's perspective. I just don't... I can see why he would have probably gone for that, because it does look like Zen's messing him up a bit. But again, with those kind of challenges, if you don't get it right, it's dynamite good night. And that's what happened there. A fake here, you know, because Zen's still getting back. Maybe a fake there. And even if he shoots, like, we can defend here, you know, inside to outside. If this guy, because this guy has to shoot this, right? He's got Zen right by him. He's going to most likely dive on this. And if he doesn't, fine. We can still shadow him and play it safe. Just very confused with that from Flakes. You know, it's not something he'd normally go for. He's probably working on something mechanical there. Let's see what Zen could have done. He's in a bit of a pickle because he's so low boosted. He actually does the right thing there. Goes to the backboard. Yeah, the dive in. The dive in as last. Don't dive in as last man. You know, twice now. One of the fundamental rules, and it really does add up. Oh, and here's another example. Remember I talk about, you know, I always study players, guys. I studied loads of players, and I do this because I love the game. I love watching players, but you start to notice things again. Flake's much more comfortable power slide cutting this or cutting this to the right. He always is. You know, the majority of the time he prefers to cut to the right. That's 2 for 2. So if you're challenging Flakes, maybe consider that. Maybe consider that he's going to take it to the right-hand side more often than not. Okay? You can actually see the difference there in the comfort, because that's a really good cut, and that was more of a fake cut, to be fair. Difficult here because technically what happens with this kind of play when you get near the wall, it's really tricky, because what you can do here is you're technically helping them out, because when you flick here, you're behind the ball, and they can just cut. Like, just imagine this guy's read this play really well. Bam, open net. You see what I'm saying? Because you can't really, there's no defense for that. So sometimes on the wall, it's just better once you get this ball here, bump, okay, just sort of like tap it here, and then just don't tap it again. Don't tap it again. Just come down with it, you know, maybe try a block play from there. It's an option. It's an option. Again, I always have to say this. These guys are way better than me. Way, way better. But I've studied them for hours. Hours and hours and hours. So that's why I say this stuff. So Zen here, just trying to keep the offense alive. So again, notice he doesn't really back off here. So when they get control, Zen will back all the way up. But when you get a player like even here, they don't technically have full control here. You want to close up the distance, prevent gaps. We're always trying to prevent gap in twos. And even though, again, that was a wall challenge, it was much safer for Zen to go for that because Flakes was back. And therefore, he's not diving in as the last man here. And this is a great idea from Flakes, trying to get that pass off. And Zen, again, I mean, it's unbelievable the way this guy uses his mechanics. Good tap down from... I mean, this is a real cool play. Flakes comes up, just taps it down. I mean, it's just brilliant play, because if you're a defender here, you see this, you think he's hitting that so hard, and he just taps it down. You actually look at this from the defender's perspective, goes into the net, and, well, first of all, okay, and guys, you're going to say, not again, Dave. Why are we pushing forward on this? Why are we moving forward? There ain't no angle there. Not with that momentum. Just stay here for a second. Thank you. You know what I mean? I know people say, oh, you're outrageous, that was too fast. Just at least you give yourself a chance. Because we're coming here from this position, and what they've done so well with that fake from Flakes is they've opened up the middle, and it's so hard to defend because they have a what? They have an angle. Because if you look at this and you pause it at the right time, you actually feel like there's nothing to boom. A lot of people would look at that and you go, it's going to go right to the goalie. But because they've created an angle, that shot now has a different trajectory and it actually flies in behind. So again, maybe 24 boosts is going to be tough, but maybe we don't need to sneak forward if they're shooting it at the backboard necessarily. You know, it's just, again, it's tough. Okay, so let's have a look at this from the blue team. Oh, guys, you know, there's a reason this is in my grounded program. There's a reason I always tell people to do this drill. There's a reason you see it at this level, because the hook shot is such a good move into the wall. I do think he lost. This was a bit too far from the wall, and the angle isn't particularly great because there's a huge gap from themselves and the ball, which then can sneak into very easily. You can actually watch how easy this is for Zen to sneak into. When you see this hook shot, you see what I mean? It's such an easy gap to fill that it probably wasn't worth what it looked like it was worth. But a great idea. Ground pinch there coming in from Zen, and that's an overcommit. That's the one that's done it. Oh, yep. Come here. Boom. Okay. It's tough. You know what he's trying to do. I mean, he has no choice. Realistically, he has to get back like that. Again, this is a bit of an unfortunate play here. Yeah, pretty unfortunate. Great, actually, really good from Tezos to backflip here, because yeah, that's really good spot. Again, I do feel like Flake is being abnormally aggressive here. You know, I feel like normally Flakes would just come here and fake. I'm interested by that, and the reason you generally want to fake there is because you want to buy time for your teammate to defend as a unit. It's all tricky, you know. This game is very tricky. Things happen at like the blink of an eye. Well, this play was just absolutely spectacular. The reason this was so good is because of the first touch. So first of all, a little bit of an overcommit here from Menzu. I just can't believe how good that first touch is. So Menzu here, you know, one of the plays I often say that I really don't like is these plays where you just smack it up the wall like this. I've never been a fan of that. Because then you have to, but basically you're trying to catch up to a ball. You don't really have it under control. You're just trying to sort of hope that you catch up to a ball. And now you use a lot of boost. I think it was Musty that first came up with this. Smack the ball up the wall and go up and down. Just, what? Waste our boost? Well, you know, that's what people do. So, at the back here, Tezos, there's no way he saves this, basically. So the damage is already done from that fast play. And, you know, on a serious note here, the control this man has, or this guy has, straight up, and look at that empty jump to push himself backwards. Genius. So as he comes in here, he hits it up, air rolls to the position he needs. Now, he's got to cover a little bit of distance here. So he empty jumps, and that just gives him a little push. A little push. This is all you need, a little push. When you got this mechanical ability, all you need is a little push. And there's no way this is getting saved. There's just too many options. Way too many options there. That's the equivalent of someone like with zero boost trying to get back and you've got that lateral dribble. You're going to be scoring it most of the time. And that is it. Yeah, we've gone over the replay there. We've gone over the stuff at the end as well. What can we learn from that? Well, what we can learn is that there's different styles in the game. And sometimes if you have a set style and you try to match it up with your teammate's style, it can be hazardous, alright? Trust the fundamentals in that case. But regarding Zen, what we do see is he never hesitates regarding backing up. And I think that's one of the keys with this man, is he doesn't hesitate. So where a lot of people would be in the middle, collecting pads, not really sure, maybe have 24 boosts, he's like, no, I'm going to back off straight away, fill up, and I'll go from there. I'll defend and then try and get to my offense. I'll do it that way. And you actually see that in his ones play as well. He's never scared to just back off and grab that corner boost and give them that sort of time. And because he believes in his defending so well, and he is actually good with it. But here, we've seen, in my opinion, take it for whatever it is, but I do feel like Flakes tried to help Zen along and maybe match with Zen by diving. He could have been working on something, like I say, by diving in a lot as last man to try and keep the pressure. But it just ended in difficulty. And normally Flakes wouldn't have done that from what I've watched with him. But also another thing is that, another little key point, know who you're against at this level, in my opinion. If I'm playing Flakes, for example, okay, I'm going to come and defend him like this. I'm actually going to show him the inside lane. I know he's deadly, but it's twos. Because I know he doesn't like cutting to the left as much. It's not, he's great at it, don't get me wrong. But he's not as great as it is going right. It's definitely his preferred side. I'm going to force him that way, into the middle. Sometimes you'll have to do that, but as long as you've got good shadowing, you can force someone into the middle and still block goal side. With Zen, okay, we know he's going to go for that back boost if we have possession. So whereas normally we'd like to attack straight on, we might have enough time to create a lateral pass. Because he's going to back off, and if we go for a lateral pass, we might be able to score more screamers because of the backing off so quickly. These are just things to notice when you've got players that you're playing against. You should know, or I believe anyway, you should know how to beat everyone. If you play the same people all the time, you should know how they play. And if you don't, then you're not paying attention. You need to pay attention. What do they do? What are their habits? What do they prefer? All of these things you need to know so that you can lock them down. Okay? And if you want to learn how to lock people down, get the lockdown program. 4 weeks to change your life, change your defensive life. You'll get a lot better. Generally, there's so many different ways to play this game. It's the beautiful thing about it. But there's also fundamentals. And you do have to respect the fundamentals the majority of the time. Any questions, guys? I really enjoyed doing these. Please let me know. Thank you for watching. Peace out. Peace, peace, peace.